Good morning. So yesterday the temperature here in Texas was in the 70s, and today the temperatures are once again in the 70s. Now I know it's only January 6th, but this warm weather's got me pretty excited for my favorite thing to do, and that is to do kayak fishing. So I haven't been able to kayak fish since June because of my broken leg, and I'm not ready yet to do it. But whenever I am ready, I want to be able to do it that day. Like, I want to be able to load up the kayak and go. Now, the last time that I went kayak fishing, it just became pretty hard to paddle and get around the lake. So the kayak that I have is the Pelican Catch 120, and obviously it is upside down right now. But this kayak by itself is just, it's a big kayak as it is. It's 12 feet long, but it's just real wide, and this isn't a kayak that you want to use to cut through water real fast. So it's kind of just a big boat for a kayak. But what was happening was, if you look back here, from where I had been dragging the kayak, either loading it into my truck or to take it to launch it into the water, I had been dragging it across concrete, and it eventually has just this little tiny crack in there where it was taking on water. And it was real slow taking on water, but after being on the lake for a few hours, you could definitely feel it, especially whenever I got to go to unload the boat, or to take it out of the water and to load it back into my truck. You could feel the weight. So today, we're going to do a video on how to repair these holes in these kayaks. It turns out it's super easy, it's super cheap, and I'm just going to walk you through how to do it in case you need to do this with your kayak. So I definitely need a kayak dolly. I also want to do a review of this kayak, just because this is my 5th kayak as I've gone through and gotten into the hobby. It's not a super expensive kayak, but as far as bang for the buck goes, I really like it. So I'll do a review on that and then some of the upgrades that I've done to it. And then hopefully we'll get to go fishing pretty soon. Alright, so everything that you need to do for this project is pretty simple. The first thing that you need is a bucket, and it's really important that you use, if you can see it on there, I'm not sure, I can't see the camera, but on the bottom of the bucket it says HDPE number 2. I guess that's just the type of plastic that it uses, but the cool thing is that these kayaks and canoes are made of that same plastic, so they work well together. Next thing you need is, I'm using a Dremel to cut out my hole in the bucket. If you don't have a Dremel, you can just use, I was going to use this until I figured out that I had my Dremel. I forgot I had it. But I was just going to heat the plastic and cut it out with a knife. Or you can use some PVC cutters to snip through this. But I am going to use the Dremel. Then you need this right here. This is going to hold your piece of plastic while you heat it with the heat gun. So you're basically going to melt this plastic to the plastic of the boat. And then just a putty knife, just to smooth it out and get this set in to the boat. So let's get going. Thanks for this patch. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the Home Depot emblem. Alright, so we've got our piece of plastic cut out, and now we're going to melt it onto this piece right here. So obviously that Home Depot emblem's not going to stay. Alright, so we are just going to start off with just using a heat gun and melting this sucker down. I'm also going to heat up the kayak too, just so we have both parts being melted and melting down to each other. Alright, so I'm going to let that cool down and harden up. And then we'll come back with, I'm going to do another layer over it. So you can see, I mean, this right here, it's still super hot, but that is rock solid now, where that hole was. Now over here, it's still a little flimsy, so I still want to put a piece over that. And then I can go back and I can just sand this down with my sander, so I have more of a smooth, maybe make it a little prettier, but I can sand all this down. So let's heat that up over there. Alright, we'll let that dry, get solid again. I think that's about it. I'll tell you what, that stayed hot for a while. But now that feels harder than the dang boat itself. What the heck this is. I mean, really, it looks good. Sanding it down is almost overkill. It's definitely not necessary, but why not? Why not do it? I got it. Alright, so we'll sand it down, just smooth it out, smooth off the little edges. So there we go. You can look at it and check it out. It's very, and I mean, it kind of looks bumpy on the camera, but it is very smooth. And where I was taking on water, it is, I would say it's more solid than the rest of the boat. And that plastic right there is thick. So it looks like I'll have to do over here sooner or later. Probably sooner than later. That is, look how thin that is. But over here, that thing is not budging. So a really good patch job, really easy to do, super cheap to do. The bucket was, I think, $3. I mean, you just have to get the heat gun. But if you're like me, I'll probably be doing a lot of patch jobs on this thing because I use it a lot. I'm excited to get some videos of this boat and me fishing in it.